Good morning. It's Market Day Report. So glad you're with us here to start another trading week. And we'll start with the corn market. We're up in trading after some deeper losses in that overnight session. Again, we're coming off of a 3-day weekend. December 425, that's down 12 cents. As we start the trade this morning, soybean trade is down 23 and a half, 10.25 and 3/4. And we'll try to find out why in just a minute. Tommy Grisafi will join us. Wheat market September at 543. It's down 13 and 3/4. It is the most active contract, while hard red trades at 524. That's down 12. And over to the cotton market, where we see the December at 67.80, down 66. We've seen 66 in that old crop and lightly trading October contract. All right, he's with Nesvick Trading. It's Tommy Grisafi. Tommy, welcome back. And what's happening here with the sell-off?
Well, Tony, when I had the opportunity to fill in for you, we had two back-to-back big days in corn, beans, and wheat. And I don't know who, but we do know that someone said Trump's going to Iowa. That was a fact. He did go to Iowa. And someone put the spin on it that there was going to be a big trade deal announced. And the market really bit into it. You have a commodity market that there's a lot of shorts, and a few people ran for the exit doors. Also, different various weather services are promoting hot weather. I guess the big difference is it going to be hot and then followed up by moisture, or just hot? It does get hot in July. Not to have some sarcasm there, but this is not a new occurrence here. And major seasonals kick in. So being that we were closed Friday, Saturday, and then opened on Sunday, we weren't even open on Thursday night. Once that speech happened and there was no announcement, and the weather, or at least our weather person internally at Nesvick says things look good through the rest of July. Now, I'm sure it's not perfect everywhere, and someone on the radio or TV is going to say they have a problem. But with that, seasonals kick in. There was no trade deal announced. Matter of fact, the opposite of that, all major trade deals were pushed back to August 1st. I do have one bright note, Tony. I do have a bright note, and that is crude oil. OPEC met over the weekend, and they said they're going to drill, pump more. Crude oil opened up down $1, traded down $1.50, and is now up 30 cents. So the crude oil market did digest that bearish information well, as OPEC announced they're going to produce more crude. Back to you, my friend.
Yep, it's. I'm glad you brought in crude as we look at the energy markets, and you know that WTI is definitely moving higher. The RBOB, before we go to break, RBOB is also moving higher. This is a market up 5.3% month over month, and then diesel fuel prices are in the red, with nat gas, which has lost 11% this month, in lower territory. We'll take a break, be back in a moment, pick up the conversation with livestock markets as Market Day Report continues after this. Okay, so cash trade last week, mostly 224, 225 in the south, 230, 232 in the north. Did have a couple hit 234. And then dress 368 to 370, some at that 372 level. So that was cash trade this week. This is really the first time to trade our livestock markets since we settled on Thursday. Look where we go. 214.55 on the August. That's a $0.50 higher. 211.57 on the October, up 67 and 60 higher on the D's contract. Feeders, feeders have still been higher this year, up 18%, though they've been in the red both over the past week and really for the month, but now into positive territory as the August trades 310.80, up $1.30, 310.90 on September. And then over to the hog market. Hogs have outperformed everything in that livestock sector, up over 32%, while August trades 107.12, up nearly $1. Let's go back to Tommy Grisafi, Nesvick Trading. What are you watching?
Well, when we started talking about grains, cattle were actually lower and on the lows and on commercial break. We just had a nice pop here in live cattle and feeder cattle. Nothing shocks me anymore in this market. It has room to go either way. Weather over the weekend for a lot of the folks who had the opportunity to celebrate was probably very favorable to demand, and we'll see how those numbers look, right? We'll be getting those numbers out of the store cases here in the next few weeks. All eyes on that. We are past the 4th of July. We've made it through a couple major summer holidays and tend to seasonally start to drift off, but that doesn't mean we can't make new all-time highs. And at the looks of this market, anything is possible. I was listening to Scott this morning on XM radio, and he had someone talking about cattle and how folks like us are always saying, oh, this could end any time. Yet we had no problem just now going from down $0.50 in feeders to up $1.50 just in 10 minutes. So someone still wants to own cattle on the futures board, Tony.
Well, you mentioned highs, and we'll wrap with the equities here. Dow Jones, where are we to start the morning? Well, we're in higher territory as it's up 178. How about the NASDAQ? Now, note here on Thursday, we hit a new record high on the NASDAQ, and that September contract is up over 49 points. S&P also a new record high set on Thursday for a market that's gained over 6% year to date. So again, we'll keep an eye on the equity markets as well.